Hello and welcome to another child safety and protection video. So this is about how abusers and bullies protect other abused and bullied. And the youngest age that has been discovered to carry out abuse and bullying is around the age of 9. Can you believe it or not? But yes. Now, I don't know if all you remember of a young kid who was abducted by young boys quite some time ago, when the mum was at, I think it was at Victoria Station, and they absolutely terrorised this young kid who was around about 3 or 4 years old, and they abducted this young kid from his mum, and so this is also to talk about how to be vigilant with your kids outdoors. Now, I am somebody who believes in flexible parenting, allowing kids to breathe and to be a child. But there are some things that you need to be careful of when outdoors. And I'm at the minute doing a Be Smart campaign with social media sites and other organisations about being safe online, but you also need to be safe outdoors too. Especially if you're a child watching this or you have a young child. So, and I did a parenting video, which is about parenting, about 5 tips on common questions, like when is it old enough for a child to walk to and from school on their own, those sorts of questions. And I'm going to address that again because it is one that crops up, and from my opinion, because of the way of the world, it would most probably be when Henry starts secondary school. Now, if he decides that he didn't want me to, take him all the way to school, then I would do it partly the way, And soon I'm going to be in a place where a lot more things are going to be on our doorstep. And so it will be a lot easier living in central London more, so he can, when he's ready to go to and from school on his own. But there are things that you need to make sure that they do. Now, I know that back when I was a kid there wasn't such things as mobile phones back then. When they came out towards the end of the 80s, and if you've seen Animals and Horses, they were the size of a brick, and not a lot of people had one, But now that we do have mobile phones, we can use them for, a child's advantage and parent advantage. So I would say the first tip would be always make sure that they have their mobile phone and it's fully charged, and so they can, not to keep tabs on them, but they can give you reassurance on their way home. So always make sure that they text you to say that they've reached school that day, and that they send you a text message to tell you that they're on their way home. So that's the first thing that I would say to do when a child starts to want to go to school on their own. The second thing is make sure they wear bright colours or visual wear. And I brought this up on my last Truth About Parenting video. And the reason why I say that is because, and it's a really good idea, and it was from my mum that gave me the idea, because if you put bright colours on them, you are more likely to see them still whilst they're playing, especially if you once lockdown lifts completely. Obviously that means that then again we can go to like a theme parks again, you know. And so and the one place that I love is a place called Bucket's Farm. It's a really nice kind of like a farm stroke adventure park in a way, because it does have a lot of things for kids and it's catered for kids. So but you know, they can wander off, so I would also always put bright colours on them or visual wear, so you know that you can see them easily. And yes, I mean, I had one scare last year when I took Henry to Putney, because there was a nice park there by the river, and I went to Poundland with him and he ran out the store and I couldn't find him, and I was absolutely going out of my mind because he had done a run at the store and I had no idea where he was, because Putney is a big area. You've got the river not far away from there, and there's a massive, you know, main road, and he could have gone anywhere, and I was absolutely going out of my wits wondering where he is. And there was a really lovely mum who said, "Don't worry, are you looking for a young child?" And I said yes. And she said, "Well, don't worry, we will find him." And we did, because he came back to that store, luckily. But I would always say, if that ever happens, try to stay calm. Get someone that not that you necessarily know, but someone who can help find them. And if it's like a shopping mall and they have security, alert them straight away. And go back to where he was, because Henry did go back to that store. And I did tell him off, because it is, you know, the most heart-wrenching thing ever, you know. And it can be so easily done, because it happened to me once. I went to a market in Fulham, and I got lost, you know, and I couldn't find my mum and my brother, and I really was going on wit's end, you know. So it could be scary for the child as well, you know. So, you know, putting them in bright colours or visual wear just makes it easier for them to be seen and to stand out, you know. So that's another tip that I would always give when going outdoors, is have them wear bright colours, because it can make a huge difference. The third thing would be in terms of child safety when going outdoors, is to if they are prone to wandering off and you go to a theme park like Thorpe Park or Chesington, you can get armbands for them to know where they are. And it's a really good idea, because the armbands are like tagged by guest services on those resorts, and that may have changed, but that was the case when I was working for an entertainment company that was sending tickets for those theme parks, and they are chipped so they can see where that child's disappeared to. So that would be, you know, and I would do that, is get them to have them also wear like an armband, or where if they're prone to running off and you want to keep them by them, there's rucksacks you can buy that I use for Henry, and it's like a harness at the front, and you've got like a little rucksack at the back, and with a bit of kind of like a, I don't want to call it a lead because it makes them sound like they were, you know, being treated like a pet. But you know, they basically are like reins with a rucksack at the back, and I will show a picture of it for you to see as an example. But that would be my third tip. Now the fourth thing would be, when going outdoors with children, is that if they start going out on their own, make sure they are with their friends. And there are smartphones that you can get now where you can find via the smartphone map, which you can via an app on your phone use to also find where they are, whereabouts. And I would always just send them a quick message, or for them, as I've said in my second one, is for them to say, I've met my friends and I'm fine, you know. And again, let them message you when they're on their way back, you know. And make them streetwise, you know. Tell them of where they should go and when they shouldn't go, you know. And always make sure they've got their friends with them all the time. And if they have to come back on their own, that they let you know that they're on their way. And having a smartphone is a really good way of not having to check up on them all the time, but to give you a peace of mind that they are, you know, there and they are safe. And the fifth one would be, you know, when I went to Butlins, there was a guy going around raping girls on camp and off camp, and they gave us all rape alarms. And I would always say that always make sure that kids have either pepper spray or a rape alarm on them. And it's not to, again, be overprotective, it just protects them. Because because you know what it's like, it's like when I went to secondary school. Now, not all the kids at the secondary school all lived in Hammersmith, where I lived. They lived all over London. So at some point, it meant that I would partly go home on my own. So then I would send a text message, then I did that even when I was at secondary school. I didn't have a mobile phone, so I would find a telephone box with my dad to say, I'm with my friends in Victoria and I'll be home soon. And he would say, fine, as long as you're with friends and, you know, you stick to lit areas and, you know, use main roads rather than side roads, you know. So yeah, they would be my 5 tips to keeping kids safe when outdoors, to give you a peace of mind that they are safe and they are, you know, okay. Because often being a parent, that's often what you want to know, you know, or a carer of a child. So I hope that's helpful, and thank you so much if you're watching this and taking my child safety course. Really appreciate it. And if you watch this on YouTube, also thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.